why is considering road design so important? It ultimately all comes back to sustainable development goals, especially target 3.6 and target 11.2, and it's about halving those road desks. It is such a big problem. The ones we're focusing on is the orange ones, which are the infrastructure ones, target 4 that focuses on existing roads. But for the target 3, which is particularly relevant, you can see that down the bottom is a 3-star or better for brand new roads. So if I pass on to Chris, who will actually expand about how's this practically been working with Arup and the work they've been doing.
Thanks, James. We too often will design roads and infrastructure to be compliant with standard, and actually what can we do to make schemes as safe as they can be, and that led us through into the star rating and then ultimately star rating for design. The first stage, you can provide that tick that you delivered 3-star or better designs, which is a really important thing. The ease of understanding and almost the marketing benefit that can provide. But more interestingly, the risk worms on the right show 2 different design options for the same scheme, and they were broadly designed to standard. There isn't a scheme there that is not compliant and couldn't be delivered. But the 2 options show a very different level of risk associated with, this case, a particular junction that couldn't be removed when a lower gradient was provided, but by steepening the gradient slightly, it allowed us to remove that junction, and therefore actually allowed us to aspire to a design that was better, it was safer, even though technically both of them would have complied with standard. So it allows us to challenge designers, challenge the assumptions we make, and make better decisions about what's the safest scheme. The other element that we've been looking at is how we use the FSI estimation to provide some level of verification and articulation of the safety benefits. So in this case, we've looked at the FSI estimation of the existing road and then run the model to look at the FSI estimation of the design. And that gives us a figure on an annual basis where we can understand not just the reduction in risk, but actually how that could transpire through into reductions in fatal and serious injuries. This isn't around, in my view, removing any of the tools we currently use in the design process. Design standards, best practice, and road safety audits are all a really strong and rigorous part of the process. But the star rating does provide a different tool to the design teams and allows them to challenge some of those traditional decisions. So the key benefits that we've identified so far is quantifying risk of different options. That example I showed you earlier, being able to make a decision in a clear way, understanding the risk and not just qualitative views around the road safety impact. Clearly highlighting risks for all road users to designers. We started out looking at star rating for vehicle occupant, and you might find you have 3-star and you sort of go tick, great. But actually, when you look at it for a motorcyclist, you've only got 1-star. And although they may be a relatively low number of road users, we need to focus on all of them if we're going to really pull down the people injured and killed on roads. It allows us to challenge improvements to the design that comply with standards. So actually, how can you go above and beyond the minimum baseline in standards? And then the final 2, speeds. And that's a really interesting point when you get into the design space and you haven't got operating speed. You're making assumptions about the difference between speed limit, operating speed, and design speeds, and what you can do to better encourage or enforce lower speeds. It does provide an independent verification or rating. It provides something there that people can understand and is quantifiable and consistent across a region, a country, or the globe.